Hi, everybody. As Tom mentioned, I work for Celtic Colors. I'm the marketing manager. I've worked there in that role for about 2 years, and before that, I worked for a couple of years as volunteer coordinator and social media coordinator. I'm really blessed at Celtic Colors because we have a large audience of people who love our festival, and we have a great deal of wonderful content that I'm able to share with our probably about 15,000, slightly under 15,000 followers now between Facebook, Twitter, and our email newsletter. If anyone has any questions while I'm speaking, don't hesitate to kind of make yourself known, because I no longer know I know there's a lot of different maybe experiences or levels of experience with social media amongst the people here in the room. So if you're an expert and you want to try and make me look bad, please do. Or if you're a beginner and you really want to be walked through something, then please ask. Because I've told this story a lot, so I'm not sure anymore what people want to hear. And when there's nobody listening, in smaller groups, I sometimes mention that I think Celtic Colors is so popular that we could probably not market and still sell tickets. But I don't tell that to my boss, so let's keep that in the room. But, we do everything. We do YouTube, we do Twitter, we do Facebook, we do, we have a new website, we have a newsletter, and they're all, phenomenally great. And people, we have a lot of engagement, we have a lot of great content, we have artists, obviously we have a lot of photographs, but we have, even in the 2 or 3, 4 years now that I've been doing this, artists are kind of getting their social media presences together, so I can share their Twitter content, I can share their YouTube videos with our audience, and we have about 150 different artists that participate in the festival every year. So tickets are only on sale for under 100 days. So if every one of our artists has a YouTube video, I have to share more than one video per day to even, get everybody's story out there. It's been kind of interesting over the last few years to see how Twitter and Facebook are sort of dividing our audiences. On Facebook, that's really where it's kind of organization to a consumer type thing, where it's our fans that come to the festival and like the festival and come buy tickets, go to the shows. We're on Twitter, so we have about 7,000 followers on Facebook. On Twitter, we have about 3,000 followers. But on Twitter, it's a lot more about organizations similar to ours. So we'll get a lot of, and actually our audience on Twitter is much higher. In Facebook, it's Canada, US, then the UK, kind of geographically divided. Whereas on Twitter, the UK is our number 2 audience, which is really fascinating because we have a lot of, maybe a dance school or a Gaelic language theater group or a Gaelic language school or a fiddle organization or that kind of thing. So it's a lot more peer-to-peer, whereas Facebook is a lot more kind of organization to kind of end consumer sort of thing. But Twitter is just it's mind-blowing, the things that I can learn about Celtic culture, because I didn't really grow up in the local Celtic or Gaelic cultures. But I'm now at the office, I'm almost like an authority on, did you know that Fiona McKenzie and on the Isle of Skye just released a new album? And did you know that this, the Scottish Parliament has a Twitter feed that's entirely in Gaelic and this kind of thing? So it's Twitter. I cannot, I constantly stress to my coworkers that they all need to be on Twitter all the time. I want to hire somebody that works 24 hours a day, because with the UK, they're 5 or 6 hours ahead of us, and is on Twitter. And that would not be a poor use of resources, I don't think, because the engagement and just the volume of information that's relevant to us. I mean, we're very isolated here in Canada, or in Cape Breton, both geographically but also kind of culturally. So if you did grow up in the Gaelic or Celtic culture, I mean, it would be hard for you to find international peers, or would have been in the past kind of thing, because, maybe you could subscribe to some kind of black and white print newsletter that would come every 2 months or something. But now you can be on Twitter, and it's just you can't keep up with the phenomenal amount of content. And people small organizations like ours, whether they're in the UK, Canada, the States, or elsewhere, I think they're also seeing the value in Twitter with connecting with their peers kind of thing. So yes, I wish I was on Twitter right now. I'm going to get a bumper sticker that says I'd rather be on Twitter. But it's just phenomenal. I wish my coworkers would listen to me when I talk about this, because they're really the authorities. I mean, I want somebody on our Twitter feed that doesn't just know social media. I want somebody that can talk about our Celtic history, our Gaelic history. They knew that Gaelic story from long ago, or they can comment on great new tune, Fiddler's Bid. I love the way you do that chromatic scale in you know, in that Jerry Holland tune, nobody does it quite like that. I can't make those kind of comments because I'm not well versed enough in the culture and the music, but if we had someone like that, I think they would be a real all-star within the scene, within the global Celtic Twitter scene kind of thing. So if I could ever up my budget, that would be kind of somewhere where I put more resources, is to have really a real knowledgeable social media person who was really super knowledgeable about the culture, who grew up in it, whose life was just interweaved with it really tightly. That would be kind of a number one on my wish list. Another great success story for Celtic Colors has been use of video. So we opened our YouTube channel about 3.5 years ago, and we're rapidly approaching 250,000 views of our videos. We have about 35 original videos, whether they're taken at the festival or more kind of promotional, heavily edited type things. So if I had to pay for ATV or CTV or CBC, if I wanted 250,000 video impressions over the last 4 years, there'd be no way on earth I'd ever be able to afford that. So all we have to do is pay the cost of producing these videos, and then they're up there forever. I mean, they're HD quality. Carrie showed the clip of the Beaton Sisters earlier. Wonderful performance, beautiful video. Every year it's going to get 10,000 views, 10,000 views, 20,000 views. It's up there. I don't have to do anything. So it does the marketing for me kind of thing. And so this year I actually invested in YouTube AdWords, so I could, anyone searching for Cape Breton or Celtic Colors on YouTube specifically, not Google, but on YouTube search, our video would kind of get up in the right-hand sidebar there in your suggested videos or your recommended kind of videos, and at the top as well. So that was a boon for us, because we did a launch video for the first time ever this year, where we kind of did an edited version of about 8 minutes long of what to expect at this year's Celtic Colors, which we launched in June during our artist launch. And between then and October, we got about 17,000 views of that video, which, I mean, we don't get 17, we get about 17,000, 18,000 people at the festival every year. So, and that was, I certainly don't think I spent $1,000 on those YouTube AdWords. So if I double that budget next year, have a bit better plan, because I think I was even like a few weeks or a month late getting it rolling, then, could I bump that up to 25, 30,000 views over the summer? That would be a real resource for us, for sure. So that's what's new at Celtic Colors. You want to steal my mic?
Okay, I'm going to talk about Hike to Highlands Festival. I wish I could say the same numbers as Celtic Colors, but I certainly can't say that yet. But we're working on that. Some of the lessons that we have learned over the past couple of years, and I wanted to just give you a couple examples. When we get involved in Facebook, we found out quickly that as long as we had some really nice photos, we were going to get some attention. And then, of course, if you start talking and engaging, we would get more. So here's just an example of a photo. This is Bay Road Valley, down by Bay St. Lawrence. This is a snowshoe hike that's coming up on March the 23rd. Already, this photo has been seen by 2,700 people, 50-some likes, and it's only not even a week old. So you can see the value of good quality photos. Unfortunately, this screen is, you need to work a little more on the screen, but otherwise you can definitely see the value of that. We have been involved in Facebook for probably the last 2.5 years. We've probably spent somewhere close to $1,200 on advertising, and we've now got our likes up to 1,093, which is pretty good. So Facebook, to me, in terms of our past lessons that we've learned, it really is all about good photos. Videos, they don't seem to be interested in. They just want to see the photos. Okay? It's also important that when you put a nice photo up that you kind of have a little byline or a cut line just to tell people what it's about. When somebody makes a comment or they ask you a question, make sure you answer it. And of course, the value of the ads is incredible. We usually see between 500 and 600 likes every time we put an ad on. I can't say enough about email newsletters. It's been an incredible program that we use. It's eye contact. We do once a month, and what it it brings a lot of people back to your website. It goes to our blog. It goes everywhere, and the clicks are just incredible. So definitely invest in time with an email newsletter. It certainly worked well for us. The blog has been just incredible. I remember the first time I started when I met a couple of chicks e-marketing, and they got me moving on this. I started getting comments from people from Great Britain, down the States, Germany. It's like incredible. And so it really does attract a lot of attention to what you're doing, and it's providing new content, and people get to know who you are. I'm like Devon on terms of Twitter. We seem to get more people interested in outdoor companies and outdoor organizations and something like that. I don't know if the hikers are into Twitter yet. They seem to be more on something else right now. We started this festival 9 years ago, and the number one thing that every hiker wants is to be in a group photo. And Bob usually has been taking a lot of group photos for us, and they just got to be in the group photo. I remember last year we were up in Franey, and it was raining. We were coming back. No, sorry, it was Sugarloaf. We were coming back down the mountain, Sugarloaf, and I said, we didn't stop for a group photo. I said, okay, we'll stop right now. And so I took a picture. And they want that. This is Broad Cove Mountain in Cape Breton Highlands National Park. It's a short, steep hike, but it gives you an incredible view. It's a 40-minute hike up and back. The lady with the plaid shirt on the back, she's from Switzerland. We had our best year yet last year in terms of getting hikers from Europe as well as the U.S. It was incredible the amount of people that came. Lessons learned again. Group photos are king. Videos are not popular. Referrals, website links are very important. NovaScotia.com, Cabotrail.travel, Trail Peak, Mountain Equipment Co-op, all those play an important role in getting people back. Can't say enough about Google. You've got to get involved in all the stuff that Google's doing. The Google AdWords, the Google Analytics, the Docs, the URL Builder, that's a new one that I learned. Basically, it's for your landing pages. You can put that code in, and that determines where your ad is. Like say, for example, you're advertising in a magazine. You put the code in, and when somebody sees the magazine and they click to that website, that's where it takes it, and then you can measure your campaign results. The Casca, I do all our slideshows through there. Google Alerts, all those are important. What's new in 2013, we're going to invest in a mobile website. 20% of our visits last year came from mobile devices. We checked with other websites, and they're experiencing almost the same. Mobile website, we went that way because it's a lot cheaper than mobile app. Anne-Marie told me about a plug-in that you can buy for WordPress that does it quite reasonable. There are people here in Sydney that can do mobile websites. Our festival is going to do more display ads on websites this year and less on print. We're going to introduce podcasts and try to get people interested in various topics and interview like 3 or 4 people in a 30-minute show. We're also going to have Wally Hayes come back, a professional photographer with tourism, and him and I are going to work on a show called A Look at the Past. So they're going to see photos of everybody in the last 9 years. We did a little hike this year in Meat Cove, and it was such a great success that now we're going to offer 3 to 4 hikes on that one day. And then the landscape photography workshop. Also new this year in 2013 is we have our 3 Peaks Challenge now features Franey, Fishing Cove, and Acadian. and it's a little easier than Roberts Mountain alone. So that's what we plan to do on 2013, and if you want to touch base with us, for some strange reason, we couldn't put the S on that. Our title was too long, it wouldn't allow it, so that's our Twitter handle, that's our Facebook page, our website, and our email address. And, you know, like all festivals, you know, we learn every year different things, and the beauty of technology is that you just constantly keep learning. So this has been a good learning experience for me. I actually use the Hike to Highlands Festival website to learn more about visit the Perry County website, so I can learn and practice at the same time. Is there any questions for Devon and I?